relationship between anything that happened in your past and your present moment. You can decide at this moment that that was then, this is now, and you can go in a different direction. And your grades have no relevance. Forbes does the Forbes 400 every single year, and they do brief biographies of people in the Forbes 400. They found that people who dropped out of high school, if they make it to the Forbes 400, the 400 richest men and women in America, they will be worth, on average, $300 million more than people who graduated from college if they dropped out of high school and they made it. And they said, why is that? Well, they started earlier and they started harder. And they got much smarter, much faster. They had a big leap on people who are still going to college, drinking, and so on. They're already there starting their third or fourth or fifth business because they dropped out of high school. So if you got lousy grades at school, you should say, thank God I got lousy grades at school. Because that's the key to your success. All right, so anyway, my first job was a laboring job. I was washing dishes. I washed dishes, and then finally when I lost that job, I got a job washing cars with a car wash, and when I lost that job, I got a job washing floors with a janitorial service. I thought washing was in my future. My wife is very kind about that. She keeps giving me things to wash, dishes, children's bottoms, things like that. And lost when you're young is a euphemism for non-voluntary career redeployment. This is where you get a chance to explore new careers unexpectedly. Today they have severance programs to the end of the month. The severance program was to the end of the day, or sometimes the end of the hour. They used to fire you at either 5 to 12 or 5 to 5. I know because I had experiences of both. And they come up to you looking like you'd been sentenced to death and they were the executioner, and they say, we won't need your services anymore, here's your final pay, there's the door. So I'd go from place to place, and I'd say, I'm looking for a job, and they say, well, we don't need much help right now. I say, well, I'm the right person for you, because I won't be much help. And that wasn't helping me much, and I went from place to place, desperate, lined up for employment, did day labor, worked as a gardener, I dug ditches, I worked as a construction laborer, carrying heavy things from place to place. I worked in sawmills stacking lumber, I worked in the brush with a chainsaw. One summer I dug wells. Now, digging wells is like a metaphor for government service. That's where you start at ground level and you work down rather than up. And when you succeed, you fail, because when you find water, they fire you. What's that? Looks like water. Well, cover it up. We need 2 more days' work here. Well diggers are not highly motivated, because if they find water, they put themselves out of work. It's like in the government, you're allowed to tinker with problems endlessly, but never solve one. Because if you solve a problem, then you put otherwise unemployable people out of work. So I would go from place